octopus is the god of hiding and camouflage. Mimic octopus can change its entire body to the shape and color of plants or other underwater creatures with unique skill. In this way, it is protected from being hunted. Another tactic of the octopus for camouflage is their ink, which is known as false appearance or false appearance. When escaping from a predator, the octopus throws a sticky ink, out of its body that looks like arms. It has a beast in it. This essence confuses the hunter and makes him run away. Thousands of color cells called color cells are located under the skin of the octopus. Each of the pigment cells contains elastic sacs with pigment. They are attached to the muscles of the octopus's body so that whenever the animal wants to, it can stimulate each of the bags to make the desired color. This pedophile also has the ability to control the texture of its body and can make it appear like a soft and smooth plant or like a hard rock. This process is also done by the papilla. With all these interpretations, the interesting thing about the octopus is that this animal is colorblind. But researchers have proven that this animal has light-reflecting cells on its skin that can directly absorb the color of the environment without needing to see it. The light-sensitive molecules are called ospin and are located on the skin of the octopus. Although scientists still do not know the main purpose of these molecules, it is said that they help this animal to see its surroundings through its skin. Octopus can change its own genes, that is, manipulate its genes. Centipedes, which include octopuses, squids, and marsupials, have a special and very strange ability. They can edit their own genetic makeup through a process called RNA. Less than 60% of the RNA transcripts in many squids and octopuses are transcribed during breeding. A biophysicist named Eli Einsberg believes that this amount of RNA editing can be responsible for the complex behavior and high intelligence of octopuses. This ability to edit RNA codes helps the octopus to better adapt its physiological responses to environmental conditions such as temperature changes. It is said that this is the first animal species in the world that has the ability to edit its genetic structure so that it can strengthen its body proteins and adapt to the surrounding environment at a high speed. The brain of the octopus is unique. You've probably heard that the octopus is one of the smartest creatures on the planet. This beast has the ability to open containers that have a child lock, can recognize symbols, learns from its observations, and most strangely, it has the ability to solve puzzles. Octopus also has the ability to recognize humans and can tell them apart and show whether it likes a person or not. The brain of this animal consists of 3 main parts and has more than 500 million neurons. The central brain of the octopus, which is wrapped around the esophagus, has 50 million neurons. The second part of the octopus brain has about 80 million neurons and is located in scattered clusters called ganglia. 8 of these ganglia are located in the arms, each in one arm, and are responsible for checking and managing the details of the complex movements of the octopus. The result of this is that each arm of the octopus can work independently of the other and their work does not interfere with each other. Of course, you should know that the main commands of the octopus's movements are issued by the central brain, but the ganglion in the arms can also take on additional activities to finish some tasks, independently of the central brain. Their arms do not belong to this world at all. First of all, you should know that the octopus does not have tentacles. These long and narrow limbs are the arms of the octopus. Squid and bagfish each have 2 long tentacles next to their 8 legs, while the octopus has only 8 legs and no tentacles. Octopus arms have a large number of suction organs scattered throughout the length of the arm. On average, each octopus has about 200 to 300 suckers on its body. That each of these suckers work independently of the other and have the ability to perform an activity simultaneously and in a group. These small organs provide the animal with the ability to taste and smell the surrounding environment. The strange and powerful arms of the octopus are never tied together, and the suckers on the arms never suck the animal's body. This is because the arms secrete special chemicals that the body's overall system can detect and prevent such mistakes from occurring. This very special feature cannot be seen in other living organisms, in this form. Therefore, in order to find out how these secretions work, scientists cut off the arms of the octopus and gave it back to the animal to see how this recognition system works. The amputated arms were still active for up to an hour after amputation, but during this time they refused to accept and grasp the arms of the living octopus or the amputated arms of the same animal, their own. The results of this experiment showed that the octopus never holds its severed arms with its healthy arms attached to its body, but sometimes it is observed that it holds the severed limb with its beak. Scientists believe that it does this to lick the wound in order to heal it. But when the scientists peeled off the skin of the severed arm and placed it in front of the octopus, it was no longer able to recognize its body and easily ate it. Another strange and interesting thing that can be said about the arms of the octopus is that this animal has the ability to regenerate and repair its severed body parts. When an octopus arm is severed, the wound heals within a day and the incision closes completely. After the scar is healed, the cells and nerves in the cut place create small bumps that gradually grow into a full and larger arm. This process will take several months. Octopus can detect warning signs of volcanic eruption. In the north of Sicily, there is a small island called Stromboli, which is home to one of the most active volcanic mountains in the world. Mount Stromboli has been erupting every 20 to 30 minutes for thousands of years. Almost all plant and marine life near this mountain have been destroyed by these eruptions. But the octopuses are still living in the same vicinity and are very clever to recognize the first warning signs of a volcanic eruption and escape from the place. Octopus can hear very low frequency sounds, which humans cannot hear. Therefore, as soon as he hears the sound of the formation of the next eruption, he leaves the danger area. Then they return to the same place to feed on dead and killed animals. They have a feature that previously belonged only to vertebrates. Although most of us now know that animals also have some form of self-awareness, it took a long time to formally prove this. In 2012, the octopus was the only invertebrate animal in the world whose name was registered and announced in the Cambridge Declaration of Self-Awareness. In this announcement, a list of animals with conscious nervous systems was included. Later in 2013, the octopus became the first invertebrate in the world to be protected by the European Union's directive not to use animals for scientific purposes. Recently, the support of octopuses against their laboratoryization has played an important role in saving the life of these animals. According to the new law, all scientific experiments that lead to pain, suffering of animals must be adjusted or its method changed. Conducting research experiments should be done in such a way that the octopus feels the least pain and suffering, because it has a nervous system and self-awareness. Also, the laboratory habitat of this animal should be similar to the real world. Octopus reproduction is often fatal. Reproduction is not an interesting activity for the octopus because it often leads to the death of the male and female. Some female octopuses strangle and eat their male mate. Males that can survive the grueling mating test and not be devoured by the female octopus enter a new phase called senescence. In this case, the male octopus stops eating and loses weight very quickly. Following this, the color of the octopus's body is lost and wounds are created on its body that cannot be treated or repaired. Eventually he loses his balance and the first hunter can catch him. Or even the elderly male octopus may go to land and die there. But women die much more slowly. The female octopus finds a safe place to lay her eggs. Some octopuses carry between hundreds and thousands of eggs at a time. After laying the eggs in a safe place, the female octopus cares and cleans these eggs obsessively and tirelessly. This process lasts for several months, and during this time, the female refuses to eat until her body gradually begins to eat itself until she finally dies. A species of octopus that lives in the deep seas has the longest time of sleeping on eggs of any creature on the planet. In 2007, researchers at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute found an octopus that keeps its eggs at a depth of 1,400 meters on the ocean floor. They visited the octopus 3 times in the space of 4.5 years and found that it was still keeping eggs, but each time its color and face were whiter and its face was sicker than before. Until finally, when they went to the same area for the 4th time in September 2011, they found nothing but empty eggshells. After the octopuses hatch, the mother guides them towards the ocean with water pressure. After this stage, the octopus becomes old and senile and swims aimlessly in the ocean until it is caught or dies. Octopus penis is strange like itself. The size of the female octopus may reach 4 meters, while the male octopus can be 30 centimeters long. Because of this, the only way male and female octopuses can reproduce is for the male to develop a large hectocotylus, one of the legs of the octopus that transforms during puberty and injects sperm into the female, in its body. This organ can grow up to twice at the tip of the hectocotylus. There is a part called a ligula or tongue, which brings the sperm sac into the fallopian tube of the female octopus. This part has the ability to erect and is the only mollusk in the world that has such a feature similar to mammals. Large octopuses place hectocotyles in the female's body for several hours so that all the sperms are discharged into the female's vagina. But the smaller octopi have to work harder. They have to cut off their genitals and offer them to the female octopus. Or sometimes this organ has to swim to the body of the female octopus and stay there until the female finds and uses it to fertilize the eggs. With these interpretations, a female octopus may keep several sexual organs of different octopuses in her body wall. It means that their children are born from several 8 different males. To defend itself, the octopus uses weapons, carries defensive castles, and builds trenches. It has been observed that some species of octopuses in the world carry snails, bivalves, coconut shells or human waste such as bottles. They use these items as a mobile shelter for themselves and can carry this furniture for long distances under their arms and go wherever they want. As soon as they see a hunter or a hunter, they go into this shelter without wasting time and hide in it in the best and most attractive way possible. The charm of their work is that, for example, if a coconut or an oyster has 2 parts, the octopus hides itself in one half of the coconut and using its powerful arms, puts the other half on its head, so that it is like a real coconut that has fallen on the ocean floor without any impact. Become with this super professional camouflage method, the hunter cannot be found and caught in any way. It is interesting that these mobile defensive fortresses are not just for survival and the octopus lurks inside these snails or shells so that the prey approaches him and catches his food. Some octopuses prefer to have stronger castles to defend their lives that are stable and don't have to carry it under their arms everywhere. Therefore, they find a safe place to live and seal the entrance with stones, empty shells and spiky plants. It is interesting that this animal spends several hours to find the right size of stones and shells to make sure that its habitat will be safe enough and impenetrable. If all these defense methods don't work, the octopus takes up arms. The reason for all these efforts to survive is that the octopus has a soft and boneless body, and it is considered a very delicious prey for most underwater creatures, and everyone covets it. So it is quite natural for the poor octopus to defend itself in any way possible. Although one of the common weapons of octopuses is to throw shells at each other, some of them use more advanced weapons for this. A female 7-armed octopus, which can be up to 4 meters long, is seen holding a yolk starfish between her arms, with the starfish's sticky tentacles dangling from beneath the octopus body. Although scientists are not entirely sure of the motivation for this, it is assumed that the octopus consumes the starfish's nutrients and then catches fish with the animal using its tentacles, as part of its own body. Pays more baits, the prey that it cannot hunt without these tentacles. Blanket octopuses also use sticky tentacles as a means of defense, but in a completely different way. Small male octopuses, as well as females that have not yet grown and have not reached 7 centimeters, use the tentacles of the Portuguese frigate as a defensive weapon. For this purpose, the octopus first tears the Portuguese frigate to pieces and then attaches its tentacles to the back of its arms. Octopus can also hunt its prey on land. Octopus, like fish, has gills, which means that it needs water to survive and breathe. However, many of the world's octopus species do come out of the water for short periods of time to hunt crabs on the beach. It is even said that captive octopuses sometimes come out of the aquarium, walk the length of the room and reach the fish tank to catch their prey and return to their original place. Or they may even escape from the aquarium and go to the ocean. Among such great and successful escapes, we can mention the story of Inky. Inky is an octopus from New Zealand who, upon seeing a small leak in the glass enclosure where he was kept, crawled out and moved on the ground to the ocean. But when the octopus cannot breathe in the air, how does it survive on land and out of water? Octopuses use a process called passive respiration to breathe. in the sense that as long as the skin of this marine animal is wet, it can absorb oxygen through the water on its skin instead of the gills. This feature helps the octopus to leave its habitat in the water for a short period of time and catch delicious prey on land. For octopuses like Inky, this process also helps them escape from prison and return to the embrace of the ocean. It is interesting to know that Inky is not the only octopus in the world whose escape has been reported in the media. In 2010, another octopus named Sid, who lived in the Portobello Aquarium in New Zealand, also attempted to escape several times. In the first attempt to escape from the aquarium, Sid was hiding in the water drain for 5 days, but was finally found by the authorities and kept in another glass container. The second time he decided to escape, he managed to reach the floor of the room, but again his plan was revealed and he was returned to the aquarium. But after 2 failed escapes, Sid the octopus was finally able to escape from the glass walls of the aquarium and reach the ocean. The octopus that lived in the same aquarium before Sid was named Harry, and it is interesting that he also escaped from this prison in the same way as Sid 10 years ago, but he was found in the middle of the stairs of the Otago University of Marine and Ocean Sciences Laboratory. These activities of the octopus show how intelligent this ocean creature is. When an octopus decides to run away, no human can stand in his way.